Let's start here. Police say they are hot on the heels of the Rolex gang, who've been targeting people for their expensive accessories for years. Now, in 2018, 3 men belonging to the gang were sentenced to over a combined total of 600 years in prison. But unfortunately, it seems that didn't end the work of the Rolex gang. Just this week, a man was shot and wounded outside a Joburg shopping mall and robbed of his Rolex. But police are saying they know who the kingpins are and they are really confident they're going to stop them this time. eNCA's Pule Letshwiti-Jones joins us now with the very latest. So Pule, this Rolex gang has, we've heard about them for years and years, and now it seems they've re-emerged. How are police so convinced that this is the work of the notorious Rolex gang and not just people stealing expensive watches and rings and so on?
Yeah, definitely, Sari. I mean, the police are confident that looking at the pattern of the criminal activities that are being carried out, and of course the modus operandi, they're trying to link it to the criminal incident that took place on the 17th of this month, just 3 days ago, and they believe that this could be one of the gang members from the Rolex gang as well. They believe that this group has re-emerged, and they believe that this group is on the loose once again, targeting some of the residents and motorists as well in the city of Johannesburg. We understand that this recent incident took place in Sandton, where one resident was trying to actually drive through into the mall and was subsequently attacked outside with these Rolex being stolen from him. We understand he's currently stable in hospital and receiving medical care, but of course this now has intensified and alerted the police to actually now embark on operations that will look into trying to nab some of these gang members. Just like you've said, in 2018, 3 men were actually nabbed and sentenced, and police have also made the sentiments that they have their profiles, and therefore they are of course on their heels trying to track them and see how far they're going. We spoke to one of the members of the police earlier on, Tommy Mtombeni, the commissioner and deputy commissioner, and he gave us some bit of sentiments around what they've been doing with this matter.
With the gang, Rolex gang, previously we trotted them. We had arrest previously, but as we know that the issues of crimes, sometimes when you trot them, they come and emerge. Currently, they have emerged once more again, and at this stage, one would say we are behind the heels with the investigation under General Kumalo, who's responsible for crime detection.
Who are they? Are they mysterious? Who's this gang? Because it seems as though they emerge and then they go again, they rest and they emerge again. It's this modus operandi seems to be one that's giving the police force a headache as well.
Initially, those ones which we have arrested, we do have names. But as I'm saying, when they emerge, you'll find that it's a new grouping. In that sense, one could not clearly indicate for now as to say currently who are those gangs, those who have emerged. But the previous ones which we have arrested, we indeed have their names and we indeed have their profiles.
I mean, really, a gang is just an organized group of criminals, but we're hearing a lot about gangs. I mean, yesterday you were on the story about the fuel syndicate gang that has been siphoning off millions of litres of petrol from the Transnet National Pipeline. What are crime experts saying about the rise of gangs? Are we seeing more and more gangs?
Well, you remember just a few days ago, the Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi was giving his remarks in Eldorado Park. That's also been, of course, plagued by a lot of criminal elements and gangs terrorizing the community, saying that he's going to prioritize ensuring that the police force is beefed up with more resources, including chopper, including technological gadgets, which speaks to drones as well, and of course a much more increased budget, which will ensure that they're not overwhelmed by some of the criminal activities taking place within our communities. So what we understand here, the criminal expert, as we spoke to earlier, says that it's a good idea, it's a right step in the right direction, but we need to implement this as soon as possible, because what we're seeing right now is that police officials are under-resourced. It's no secret that the conviction rate in this country is actually quite low. You've got detectives sitting with over 300 cases that are not resolved yet, and therefore it slows down that element of there being accountability. That's what this expert is saying. And, subsequent to that, what we understand is that the Premier now has to come in and speak to the MECs, the MACO team, and see how they can try and, repatriate some sort of money to the police force, which speaks to safety and security, ensuring that they can carry out some of their work with sufficient resources. Let's just take a listen to what this criminal expert had to say.
What will encourage these criminal groups is to observe the capacity of the criminal justice system, as well as what will happen to those that will be investigated. And if then they will see that, law enforcement agencies are stretched, especially you look at the South African Police Service, you look at the detectives, then there is that, encouragement from these people to say that now, they can, evolve from one modus operandi to other, and then it will take time because of a lack of capacity. We know that annually it is always a challenge for the allocation of budgets to the South African Police Service.
Well, let's hope they do make arrests with this Rolex gang in its current incarnation. Yesterday you were on a very dramatic story, and that was the Transnet fuel pipeline syndicate, and the kingpin, the alleged kingpin, has been arrested. He was meant to appear in court today, but he didn't. Do you know why? Yeah,
I just spoke to some of the guys from the Hawks who were saying that the case has now been referred to the Vrede Magistrate Court. Did you remember, this is where the other two previous suspects were caught when trying to, when stealing this fuel from the Transnet pipelines. But just reading the statement here, we now understand that they've also now searched and seized some of the assets belonging to this kingpin, which includes luxury vehicles such as a black Jeep SRT and an SUV, as well as a second tanker which was allegedly seen in his premises over the weekend, which I believe was being used to try and transport this fuel that has been stolen. So it seems as though they're moving forward with this operation. I can tell you right now, we're being told that the search and seizure operation lasted till the wee hours of the morning, and that's why the detectives and investigators have been there saying that they want to conclude this docket and ensure that this matter is before the courts.
All right, so he'll have to appear tomorrow, won't he?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
All right, so that's the story we'll get an update on hopefully tomorrow. Thank you so much. That's Pule Letshwiti-Jones there. Let's move